Hey everybody, it's Dak here from the Ed Boys, and welcome to my Wintertodt guide. Wintertodt is a group skilling boss that gives some of the best fire-making XP rates in the game. It's also a common starting place for low-level Ironmen since it gives a lot of loot in the form of supplies like ores, herbs, seeds, fish, and whatnot. I'll start the guide with some requirements and what you should plan on bringing with you, including the warm gear conversation. Afterwards, we'll discuss how you travel to Wintertodt, and then how you actually fight the snowstorm. Then we're going to move on to what kind of loot you can get from Wintertodt. Wintertodt is a low-level activity with only one real requirement, being 50 firemaking. You are going to need an axe and some food with you. The type of axe doesn't really matter, so just bring the best one you have, really. The lower your health, your overall HP level, the less damage you're going to take. A lot of players make sure that they do Wintertodt early in their account with a lot less health so they don't have to eat as often. Overall, if you're already a higher hit points level, you probably won't be at a shortage of food, and it doesn't make a huge difference, so don't panic over the fact that lower health is going to help a little bit. Optionally, you can bring a hammer, a tinderbox, and a knife. You can also obtain these items at Wintertodt. You don't actually need these items to complete a round of the game unless you're soloing, which I will not be covering in this guide. But each of these items can be used for extra points, so I would bring each of them with you, and we'll talk about how points work later. Let's talk about what to wear in Wintertodt. Some gear in RuneScape is considered to be warm clothing for this boss. With up to 4 pieces of warm clothing on, you can lower the damage that you take from Wintertodt each time that it hits you. Some easy items to wear that count as warm clothing include fire staves, a lit bug lantern, earmuffs, yak hide armor, and even hunter outfits. As an iron person and maybe even just a low-level main, I found that the clue hunter gear was the easiest one to get, and here are 3 simple locations that you can get 4 different pieces of clue hunter gear from. For those who don't know, for clue hunter gear, you just gotta stand on the spot and dig with a spade. As you start to get Pyromancer Gear from Wintertodt, those also count as warm gear and gives bonus firemaking XP, so you should be wearing that, but you clearly can't start with it because you get it as a reward from Wintertodt. Now that you know what to wear and what to bring, you gotta know how to get there. The easiest way in the game is the game's necklace, which teleports you right to the Wintertodt camp. But if you're not in a situation where you can get your hands on a game's necklace, then you gotta make this walk north of the Arceus library. Be careful not to take this walk north of the library. You're going to find yourself in a trap of wolves and ice creatures alike. Let's go through a round of Wintertodt. First of all, the official world for Wintertodt is 309. You can solo Wintertodt. I don't really suggest it. Just use 309 where you got a bunch of other people that'll help you out. As you enter, there's going to be 6 crates where you can grab any of the supplies that you need. 2 of the crates have unfinished potions that can eventually be used to heal pyromancers. It's not a bad idea to grab 2 of these and when you head in. You can't take damage from Wintertodt while you're in this area, this entry spot, so if you're at low health or you've already got enough points, you can just chill here. There are 4 braziers around the room. Choose which one you like, but be aware that the moment you choose a brazier, every player who uses a different one will immediately become your enemy in the social war of Wintertodt. XP-wise though, doesn't matter which one you use. Only during a round can you pick herbs from the west or east side of the arena. These Bruma herbs can be used to finish the potion that heals a pyromancer. At the very beginning of the round, the braziers need to be lit. This does give 25 points, so it's not a bad idea to be ready to light it right away, but you do need a tinderbox. At this point, your job is very simple. You have to keep burning wood to kill Wintertodt. You can chop Burma roots near each of the braziers. While chopping wood, you do not stop chopping when you take damage, which is not necessarily the case for fletching or burning your logs. Once your inventory is filled up, you can run over to the brazier and start burning your logs. Just burning them whole gives you 10 points per log and a little bit more fire-making XP than if you were to first fletch them into kindling. Fletching the logs first does add some fletching XP to your gains and then gives 25 points per log. In the long run, it's going to make it a lot easier to get the points that you need for a reward, but it'll be a little bit less fire-making XP per hour. It really isn't that much less fire-making XP. It still turns out to be some of the best in the game, and especially for low-level players, maybe even Ironmen, you're going to find that the fletching XP starts to add up pretty well. While you're fletching or burning the logs, if you take any damage from Wintertodt, that is going to stop you, so you have to either use your knife on the logs again or click on the brazier to start burning. If you just turn your game sounds on, it's very obvious whenever your player takes damage. Overall, you should see XP rates a little under 200k an hour right when you start if you're at level 50, which doesn't last very long since those levels really take no XP. Then you end up getting to and a little bit over 300k an hour once you hit 99. When you see some snowflakes, almost like a little mini snowstorm, appear above a few squares on the map, be sure you're not standing right under it or you're going to take some big damage. Overall, it's easy to survive it as long as you're keeping your health remotely high. It doesn't hit that hard. If this little storm happens over a brazier, it's going to break the brazier and also damage you if you're standing too close. It then needs to be repaired by just clicking on it, which you are going to need a hammer for. Repairing it gives you 25 points and a little bit of construction XP. Afterwards, the brazier also needs to be lit again, which can get you another 25 points. If and when the Pyromancer gets injured during all of this, you will be unable to light the brazier. This is where a potion that you made earlier comes in handy for another 25 points. That's about it for how you get points during the Wintertodt match, so let's talk about how the points work. You need to get at least 500 points in a round to get a reward crate and some extra firemaking XP. In fact, it's 100 times your level, so at 99 firemaking, you almost get a 10k XP drop. That crate will have 2 rewards in it and a chance for an extra. For every 500 extra points that you get, you're given another guaranteed reward in the crate, and then if you get a little over that 500, you get that extra chance for the extra item. So overall, if you got a little bit more than 1,000 points instead of just a little over 500, you'd be guaranteed 3 rewards and a chance at a 4th. The normal rewards are seeds, logs, raw fish, ores, herbs, other supplies including burnt pages, but there are a few uniques that you can get from Wintertodt too. Each roll you have a 1 in 50 chance at getting a Pyromancer piece, a Bruma torch, or some warm gloves. Pyromancer pieces give some bonus firemaking XP and each count as a piece of warm clothing. The full set gives you 2.5% extra XP in firemaking. The Bruma torch is just a wieldable light source that also counts as a warm item. The warm gloves are purely cosmetic, but dang do they look good. You can also turn in extra pyro pieces, warm gloves, and Bruma torches to Ignicia for an extra crate with 1 item in it. There's also a few rares that you can get from Wintertodt crates. There's the Tome of Fire, the Phoenix Pet, and the Dragon Axe. The Dragon Axe is often a reward that Iron Men are here for, especially for lower levels, though it's a 1 in 10k, so it can be pretty tough to get, and it can be very frustrating getting it on a main. The Phoenix is the pet from Wintertodt, and it's a 1 in 3k drop rate. And the Tome of Fire is actually a shield that gives you unlimited fire runes as long as it's charged. You can charge it with burnt pages at 1 page for 20 charges. Casting fire spells with the Tome of Fire adds 50% damage to that spell, and it uses 1 charge per cast, but for non-combat spells, it doesn't use any charges, so it's just like a fire staff, but in your shield hand. Overall, the rewards from Wintertodt aren't amazing if you're not an Iron Man, but it can add up, especially all the way to 99, and it's clearly a lot more profit than you're make by just burning logs. That's the end of my Wintertodt guide, everybody. If you still have any questions, be sure to leave them in the comments section below, and I will get to you as soon as possible. Thank you very much for watching, and best of luck with your Wintertodt. If you enjoyed the Wintertodt content in any way, shape, or form, be sure to check out my Hardcore Iron Man series, where I did grind out a bunch of Wintertodt in hopes for a fire-making cape and some decent drops, and it went pretty well. Link in the description.